Hi, you guys. Welcome back. So, today we're going to be speaking about selfish. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's the same thing, it comes along with the breakdown, just like value. So, with selfish, we have secure, engagement, listen, forgiveness, importance, support, and healthy. You know what I'm saying? Everything needed in a good relationship. Because, of course, for starters, you need security. You need to really feel secure in what you have going on because you can't feel secure. Like, you know what I'm saying? Valentine's Day just passed, and it's like, oh no, he just bought me some flowers. He bought me some balloons and some chocolate. Yup, this on me right here. And then the other days of the year is not like the same thing. Don't get me wrong, fellas. I'm not saying you need to be sitting here buying your girl a gift every single day. Like, that's crazy. I wouldn't even want that. Don't even worry about it. Me personally, I really do not care for Valentine's Day like that. I mean, I would if I felt like my person did not love me or appreciate the little things that I do or simply just appreciate me as a person. But I'm not even trying to sit here and just put it on the fellas because we can take Valentine's Day out. Even if it's like that's your man, and who knows, maybe he's going through a little bit of rough times right now. Like, figure out what he's like, what he likes, what he wants to do, something to cheer him up. But let's get back on topic. And as far as the engagement, it's like, how it kind of flows hand in hand with the communication, but not so much of the talking aspect of it. It can even boil down to the hey, I'm starting this project, whether you're a male or a female. I got this that's going on and this and that. I really need a listening ear, or can you help me with so and so? If that person makes you feel like that is just too much, or they could really care less, that's a sign within itself. Because if, just like I spoke about, being and feeling secure, if you already feel like you're secure with this person, whatever I have going on, at some point it's not just going to be a me project. Clearly, we took the time out to sit here and talk about how whatever you're doing or whatever I'm doing, how can we turn this project into an us project? And it's kind of like that's what a lot of people fail to realize. When you're in a relationship, you can't sit here and have your own project and this person has their own project. Is there any way that the end goal of this project will be any benefit to the relationship? Like, is this project gonna help you guys grow together in a better state? Me personally, I feel like everything that grows, it needs to go through God. Because I just feel like if He's not here, and He's the one that created us, He gives us the ability to be here every day, to wake up and breathe and walk and talk. If we're not praising the one that allows this, how do you really think this relationship gonna last? Like I said, that's how I'm coming. That's how I feel. And then we have listen, because that does flow with communication. Because if I'm talking to you or we trying to get things done and you're not listening to me, like if you feel like whatever you say that's how it's going to go, it's kind of like what do you need me for? If you could do it by yourself, do it by yourself. And it's just like a lot of people listen to respond instead of listening to really understand what the problem is. It doesn't even have to be a problem. Or why do you feel this way that you do? After you tell me what's going on, I can sit here and reflect on, you know what? Maybe he or she feels like this because maybe I was doing too much or maybe I wasn't doing enough. Maybe that person no longer feels secure within this relationship. You know what I'm saying? And of course, we do have forgiveness because, like I always say, there is no one walking this earth that's perfect, that has never made a mistake. And it's like, I feel like if someone does something and it makes you feel some type of way, and they take the time out to show you, to apologize and let you know, look, I'm not on that type of timing no more. Like, I'll never do that again. And then you sit here and you keep bringing it up. That means you never forgave this person. Don't say you forgive and still bring it up. That doesn't make sense. And even if it is the same person that you're in a relationship with, you can't sit here and look at the way he or she was acting last year or 2 years ago, and then you're getting scared again and you want to bring up the past. You can't do that because all of us have a past. If he or she brings up yours, don't get in your feelings when they bring up yours because you started this and somebody gonna finish it. And then we do have importance. Of course, everyone wants to feel important to their person. Because if you don't look at me in that light, it boils down to, hey, what we doing here? And the support, of course. I feel like the support could go hand in hand with the engagement because it's just showing me that, like, wow, whatever I'm doing, you're really taking the time out and you're taking on something that I didn't even start with you. I just wanted to do this for us, but just really seeing how you're taking a full force and being on board with me. A lot of people don't understand. Being supportive, being a strictly supportive partner, that is like such a relief. And maybe that other person feels like it's not something you would do for me, but I love you as much as I do. I'm always going to be here for you. And maybe if you flip it up and you do something different and you surprise them, like surprise him or her, like, hey, whatever you have going on, I'm here for you always. And honestly, that could even make that person look at you in a different light in terms of I knew I already loved him or her, but just knowing what I got going on has nothing to do with this person. And they're really taking the time out and putting the spotlight on me. Now it's my turn to get my stuff in order. And they're not even, in a sense, I want to say they're not even paying attention to what's going on to their life because they really care about me right now. And that says a lot. I'm going to get into it. But, and then we have healthy, of course. Who wouldn't want a healthy relationship? You know what I'm saying? Of course, arguments are going to happen. That's just what it is. I feel like I don't have any toxic traits. But like I said, no one is perfect. For the longest, I always felt like, this a little too good. I know I am not perfect. Something's going on that I have no knowledge about. Don't do that. There is a such thing as a healthy relationship. Maybe you're not used to being in a situation where everything worked out according to plan. And it's kind of freaking you out because you've never experienced this before. I'm telling you, I'm talking from a personal aspect. Do not sabotage. Sabotage. I should have put sabotage in here because sabotage is real. A lot of people feel like, oh, no, you're trying to be funny or you just trying to ruin it. No, you have to look at your partner's back history. Maybe they never experienced this type of love, and maybe they grew up in an environment where it was just like, to, I don't want to say elders or whatever, but I'm going to just say from our age, anyone older than us, if they did have a partner and they would always argue, but they never broke up, they never left each other, that could kind of sit here and translate into a, oh, okay. So to have a healthy relationship, they do need to argue because they don't break up, they stay together. And that's a habit that you didn't even know that you carried on into your adulthood. Don't do that. Just don't. And on top of that, I guess, of course, let's do a little personal talk. So, for me in particular, I would say I did have that toxic trait like for the longest. I always thought if me and my boyfriend didn't argue, something's going on because I'm like, look, I am not this perfect person. Something going on and I have no clue about. So now my other friends about to come through, sabotage coming through the door and sitting here just creating arguments and the accusations and I remember, no, don't do that. Just like I said earlier, because if you decide to go back into the past, let's not forget the other person gonna go back in the past too, and the whole current state of this relationship, that's out the door. It's irrelevant now because you wanted to bring us all the way back when we were horrible and not paying attention to the now. That's why I'm saying. But that's another thing. That's why I highly, highly, highly promote the growth aspect, because when you really take the time out and sit here and grow and throw away all of those toxic traits, or the way you speak to people, you have to make sure you're in control of your voice, because a lot of people sit here and they dish it out whether that other person was in the wrong or not. You can't sit here and come at someone and decide to forget that they're able to come back at you the same way. And I'm sorry, but a lot of women would sit here and be like, oh no, a man cannot talk to me like that. But within the same stance, you can't sit here and belittle a man or talk crazy. You want to sit here and do all this cursing, or I'm gonna get so and so on you. You can't do that. I get it. That's a man and we are women. But in the same stance, we can't allow us having a vagina and them having a penis to make it okay. Like, oh no, that's a man. He's strong, but he should never come at me like that. I'm sorry. It don't work like that. If I'm not with the physical abuse, though, on either part, whether you're a male or a female, that's an absolute no. I'm just speaking in terms of the vocal aspect. I'm not saying allow that man to dog you out. Absolutely not. But you can't start something that you can't finish, and you have to be able to take on what you starting. And I've learned all that. Like I've bypassed it. Of course, my feelings was hurt because at some point someone's going to get tired and they're like, "Look, enough is enough." And when that did happen to me and all I had was myself, that was my growth moment. That was like the best part of my life. Of course, I sat here and I cried and I wanted to do the little blame game. But who are you going to blame when that person left? You know what I'm saying? So I had to deal with all that just within myself. And of course, that was the time. I think, no. I've been found God. But in that instance, I think I read, well, let's not even say God. I'm going to say Jesus Christ, because in order to get through God, you have to know Jesus Christ. So at that point, me and Jesus was like hand in hand. Like every time I cried, I'm like, Lord, I do not understand why. And I'm not lying to y'all. I never would. Every time I would pray that, it's like I had a movie in my mind and I would just see flashbacks of everything when I was in the wrong. And I was just like, that's crazy. You really telling me I was a woman like that? So it was just a healing process for me. And when I did all that, and I realized, like, girl, you have baggage too. And I'm like, what? That I already told y'all. Toxic, toxic, toxic. Because we all have baggage, but a lot of us feel like, oh no, I'm looking at you and you're carrying way more baggage than me. It don't matter. Someone will always come with baggage. Like I talked about before. Like I get it if many of us out here, and especially like within the Black community, just because we're all Black, that does not mean that we were all raised the same way. I get the you ain't gonna get it unless you black, that's understandable. But raising wise, I never knew that within the black community, it's really sad to say, but I never knew in the black community that there was a such thing as a two-parent household. Crazy, right? Crazy. And that's something that maybe other black people can sit here and agree upon, but you have some of us, you know how they like to say statistics. How, oh, in the black household, the father will never be there. And that's not true. There are a lot of black fathers out here that tried to make their relationship stick, but can't really speak on that. Do not have children. But if you look at it like this, you have to look at that relationship that that black man was into. Was he benefiting anything? I get everyone's going to sit here and say, but the child and this and that. And of course, I'm sure that everyone out there that does have children, who wants to sit here and say, yep, I want to be pregnant. And if this doesn't work out, it is what it is. No, I'm sure everyone that starts a family wants to be with their person forever just for the sake of their family. But sometimes it doesn't work like that. So maybe either, and I'm going to say whether the man or the woman, because it could happen to women as well. It's not predominantly talked about, but it happens to women too. And maybe it just came to a point where it's just like, enough is enough. I can't do this, but I'm always be there for my child. And it's like instances like that. But I'm sorry, that just took me for a loop. But back on topic, it's like within myself, after I realized all of that, and I really grew within me, and I was able to sit here and look at all the faults and look at how many times in different situations where it was my fault, I was able to take accountability for it. But even with being able to take accountability for it, you have to look at the other person. Like, did you really push this person that far that now they just looking at you like, that's cool. I'm really happy that you grew, but I don't have time for it. And I'm not trying to go backwards with you. And you can't be mad at that because everyone has a choice. You can't say, hey, we've had all of these years together, you have to be here. No, no one doesn't have to do anything. A lot of us do not want to hear it. And I'm sorry, if ain't nobody gonna tell you, I'm gonna tell you. No one on this earth has to do anything for you. And I'm talking about parents, I'm talking about family, I'm talking about friends, I'm talking about your partner. No one has to do a thing for you. If someone takes the time out of their life to forget what's going on with them, to put the focus on you to make sure that you're okay, that's love, okay? That's love right there. And I would say, in order for a successful relationship, despite the breaking down of each letters in selfish and value the previous episode, I would say accountability has to be top tier because whether you're a male or a female, whoever's wrong, wrong is wrong. No matter the gender, no matter the race, no matter the age, it doesn't matter. If you're wrong, be able to sit here and say, you know what, my bad. I shouldn't have did that. I was having a day, or, it was just kind of hard. Because if you can't do that, you can't be mad at the other person. How are you mad at someone that you can't even do for yourself? You know what I'm saying? So, as always, I really hope that this episode was really helpful for someone out there. And I will speak to you guys next Sunday.